Meine Damen und Herren, Mesdames et Messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Berlin.
I'm Emma and I'm directing Cabaret. Cabaret is an iconic musical by Kander and Ebb, and it's set in Berlin in a club in the late 1920s, and it follows the story of Sally Bowles and how Germany was struggling against the Nazi uprising at that time. While Cabaret is great fun and it's full of amazing music and amazing dancing, it's also tackling a really difficult issue of the Nazi uprising in Germany. And I think the sad and tragic thing about Cabaret is that it's following the stories of these people who have had so much hope and so much liberation during the early 1920s and are now meeting this horrific point in history where all of that is going to be taken away from them. And the way in which the musical explores this theme and explores the journey of these characters is really interesting, and how each character is reacting to the Nazi pressure.
Dab your eye, mein Herr, you wonder why, mein Herr. I've always said that I was a rover. You mustn't knit your brow, you should have known by now. And every course turned out to be mein Herr.
Choreographically, Cabaret is quite a complex show because you're faced with the challenges of conveying this gross, seedy Berlin club, yet it's also in a style where dance could be very elegant and very stylized. You have to focus on things like the original choreography, the influences you can take from today, and putting it all together. And that's what I've tried to do with Cabaret. Songs like Mein Herr, which I've borrowed slightly from the original choreographer Fosse, in that we've used chairs and we've used some very stylized hand movements. They require a lot of sharp energy and very precise movement, whereas in other songs like Two Ladies you can be a lot more free and you can be a lot more silly, and it's kind of up to me to blend all that together and create something cohesive that ties the whole show together stylistically.
Hi, I'm Hannah, I'm playing Sally Bowles in Cabaret.
And I'm Luke and I'm playing the Emcee.
So Sally's quite an strange and extraordinary character. She's very posh. She grew up in Chelsea and decided to go on a gap year with her friends and split up from the group and ended up in Berlin, where she has to work as a cabaret dancer at the Kit Kat Club in order to pay her ways.
Yeah, I'm playing the Emcee, and the Emcee is essentially the person that runs the Kit Kat Club where Sally works. It's one of those really bizarre parts because he doesn't really have any scenes, he simply has songs, and so there's very little real sort of character which you can really base it off in the script. And the real challenge is the fact that there's so little direction really, in the fact that it's just songs, there's no backstory, there's nowhere to come from, there's nowhere to go, as well as the fact that it's one of those parts where so many people have done really famous renditions and different ways of playing it that it's a bit of a challenge. And
particularly the song Cabaret, for example, is so famous and there's so many renditions, it's very hard to get an original slant on that, and people do come expecting a certain version of the song, so that's quite challenging. The first bit is great, I just get to have fun and sing and dance around a lot and be really superficial and my head's in the sky and it's great. Act 2 is a little bit more hard-hitting, but you'll have to come to see why.
It's very much one of those shows which gets a lot darker as it goes on, and it suddenly snaps and you're not quite sure where it happens, but I think everyone in the audience has that moment where they suddenly realise that this isn't a typical musical theatre show. Je suis enchanté, happy to see you, bleibe, reste, stay.
I think the best part about doing this show is being able to work with a space like the Garage Theatre, because it's so unlike anything. It's so unlike the West End stages and the Bloomsbury stage, because it's so intimate, and doing a show like this really suits an intimate setting and really, enables the audience to be completely immersed in what's going on stage. And also the fact that this is the last musical theatre show in the Garage, it's incredibly important to me and to the society.